Hi everyone, we're out in the car again today. I've got another video where I'm going to do a little touch of driving, and we're going to be concentrating on one thing, and it's about how I change my speed to actually suit different scenarios. There's many people on the road who just go at one pace, not necessarily all the time, but they don't change their speed enough to suit different scenarios. So what I'm going to do a little bit of commentary on what I'm seeing and how I'm adjusting my speed. We've got a little camera set up as well. We've got our feet cam today, so you can see exactly what I'm doing with my feet also. Let's get on with it. I've got no plan on where we're going to go. I'm going to try and stick to sort of town roads because there's going to be more traffic. There's going to be a little bit about. I'll try and keep it relatively busy as well, so you can see exactly what I'm doing for different situations. Let's get us started. So, what's the time? It's 2:45. It's going to go dark in about maybe an hour, so we're going to have the light fading shortly, so it's going to have to be something that I've also got to bear in mind. Notice even with that scenario there were kids playing side to side, and there's a lot of parked cars. You're probably familiar with this road as well if you've seen a few of Aaron's videos, and there's big dangers everywhere. So I'm going to take the next road on the right. Let's have a little look. Speed, I'm not going to commit before I see. Okay, what about this? No issues, he's seeing me. What about the car the opposite direction? So we can make a little touch of progress now the red car is finished and it's gone. But again, I'm not going to make too much progress as of yet. We've got a car here on the left with its boot open as well. So I'm always constantly thinking about what I'm going to do with my speed here in case someone came in. The red van is parked quite close to the junction, so I was always aware of it. I'm going to turn left at the end. Speed here, people actually go way too quick at junctions. They don't go slow enough. Where there's going to be danger here, this is where you're going to die. So people often try and rush as they're doing the junctions. There you go, and that's the exact reason. Perfect. Couldn't have wished for a better scenario. The Mini's terribly parked on the corner. So you imagine there if I'd have just zoomed out because I couldn't see anyone. Okay. So adjusting speed to suit different scenarios is really important. We're gonna try and point this out. We'll do as much planning as we can, as I always try and do. Let's have a little look at this. Did just have a little back off of my gas there, just for that lady who appeared from the gap in the parked cars on the left. Here I'm not going to try and increase my speed. This is a common thing that people do. They try and make the lights, and then if they do change, it just becomes problematic. So I'm ready to deal with absolutely everything there. And even here, I'm aware of the one behind, and rather than having to change speed, I just took my position. I'm going to do the same but opposite with the bus. I'm just going to show the bus that I'm going to hold back and let them out. Here with the people, I'm not slowing down too much, but I'm always ready for them to step out in case they walk. What I'm trying to do there is manage what they perceive. If they see me slowing down too much, they may think that I'm going to let them across. And again, notice as I came towards the traffic lights, my speed was never increasing. It was always slowing and being ready. Now I am just going to grab my glasses out 1 second. It's going to get pretty awkward shortly, I would have thought. So, perfect time to do it while we're sat here. Okay. So, adjusting speed, what people tend to do, they tend to just go at one pace. Nowadays, this is just my opinion, I think people aren't very good with the feet. I think the things that people get brought up doing nowadays. The computers, for example, are all hands and eyes. There's not much footwork involved. Here I've got a little bit of a quandary. They are moving a little touch further up, so although I can't clear the yellow box yet, I know I'm going to be able to clear it, so I've just took my time with my speed. There's the sun. Sun visor is going to have to come down a little bit. So it's not just to things in front that we're adjusting our speed to, we're also adjusting our speed to things behind and at the side. Hopefully we're going to get a few scenarios a little touch further up where I'm going to have to adjust my speed with people alongside of us, and that's really important, not just staring at this vehicle out in front. So I'm checking around to see how I'm going to move away. If you're one of those people who just moves away in the same routine way all the time, that's not definitely the best thing to do. I was aware of the one on the left. Notice I kept steady, I didn't speed up and close the space down, but I was always positive by keeping my speed steady, but always ready to slow also. So the same thing with these lights. There's no one around me, so I just please myself with what I do with these traffic lights. So we've got a perfect situation here where the two lanes of Walton Vale merge into one a little touch further up. Now at the moment there's no one next to me, which is a little bit of a shame, because I wanted to point out what I would be trying to do constantly with the vehicles around. If there was someone next to me, I would always be ready to go quicker if needed or slow if needed, not just moving away in the pace that I want to move away at, and that's key. People always just go one pace, and then when two people do the same thing, you're stuck next to each other. Okay, I'm going to go ahead at the next set of lights, so it's the left lane, crossing's all fine. Don't really need to adjust my speed for anything around me apart from just the traffic lights a little touch further up. So, Corsa to my right lane, it is signalling now. So even there I was always ready to adjust my speed if that one had have just been going straight on. No, they shouldn't go straight on from that right turning lane, but people do. So good drivers are really appreciative of all this stuff around them all the time. I'm in charge of the vehicle on the right and wary of the cyclist to the left. So that little move there for the car on the right was really to say, I'm going. It has to be a part of driving, not to make it awkward for people, but to be in charge of certain situations. Always try and be nice though. If you can let someone out and it doesn't affect you, do so. But if the traffic is flowing, keep with the flow. So this cyclist is the perfect example as well on changing speed. People just go at one speed and they don't look at the space. There's a crossing up ahead. I think there's enough room to do it before. But it was important not to go too quick for too long into that box in front, as we saw the car came in and did a turn. So it was important that I was able to do that before the cyclist actually came up to that point. So I needed to get past and be able to get back in before this box with the oncoming traffic. So again, adjust speed. If you're ever in doubt, don't do it, just hold back. You'll always have another opportunity a little touch further up to get past that cyclist at a safe time. Where is that cyclist as well? I think he turned off a little bit further back. So we've again got two lanes. People don't use all the space. For me, there'd be no issue with people coming alongside, and it's the lack of ability in doing what I'm talking about changing speed to suit things all the time, which really stops people from comfortably fitting in. Brilliant, we've got a white Citroen that's coming up next to us. Let's just show you what I mean. Traffic's filtering from the opposite side, and I'm watching closely what this car does as we move away. I'm going to adjust my speed throughout. So they've gone ahead, they've gone quite quickly. So I'm now not going to go and try and get past them, but I am keeping my speed going up with the flow. So therefore, any other people coming down this right-hand side know what's happening and know what's going on. Do you do that? Or do you just move off in that same vein all the time? Majority of people don't pay enough attention to their surroundings as they're moving off. Now, I'm going to head straight on. I'm going to head up County Road. Sorry, I was just checking to see whether my foot cam light was still operating. Hope it's got enough charge. Adjusting speed on roundabouts to suit is also very, very, very important. Now, there's no one around me here to my right. If there was, oh, there is the BMW. What are they doing? So I'm just going to constantly watch where this other BMW is going to then adjust my speed to fit into space. I know the road narrows further up, and perhaps they do also because they've tucked in behind. Good job. Looks as though we've got some roadworks. We've got a 20 limit. Again, keeping an eye on things around all the time. This car is better suited in second gear at 20. Will just about go 20 in third, but it doesn't give you much flexibility. So is there any reason to come back into the left? Absolutely not. The roadworks a little touch further up are still stuck out. I'm just backing off and helping the Ford to the right though. That was best for flow for everyone. I can always touch my gas a little bit again and catch up to where the white Audi was turning. No issues. Okay. Adjusting speed to suit all these things around. Should I go back into the left? No, there's a parked Mini a little touch further up, so I'm going to stay put, stay exactly where I am. BMW behind is turning, no issues. And again, we've got another situation where there's two lanes at the lights. This Vauxhall behind is coming in behind me as well. Mini's coming out, so I'm just backing off and giving them space. And there's more parked cars further up, but you shouldn't have to worry about using all this road space. What should happen is that you should have an ability to adjust speed and fit in with each other. And too many people are lacking in this and think you should have got in lane earlier. No. If there's two lanes at the lights, twice the amount of traffic can get through that sequence. So use all the space. But because people aren't very good at this, and also people aren't very good at accommodating people who do this, that's why you only go in one lane. So, I'm going to move. What's the Audi doing? He's next to me, so I'm just backing off. Not a problem. So always be ready to adjust speed. So, so, so important. Use the left lane through the junction, but I'm keeping an eye on the Vauxhall behind me as well. Don't need to signal, not holding back. People think that you've got to signal every single movement. You haven't. You only signal if it's going to be a benefit. The Vauxhall was holding back and had seen the situation, so why would a signal be of any benefit? Again, same coming back. It would only confuse people that I'm going to go back into that turn. Okay. So let's see what I'm going to do with my speed again with the Vauxhall to my right. Ideally, I don't want to be next to people. I'm going to try and maximise my time next to space. So if they're a little slow away, I'm going, providing the crossing's all clear. Because now we've got space to our right. I was careful that my speed with the white one there as well, but the crossing shouldn't be a big deal, shouldn't be an issue. Whenever there is a potential hazard, you're better off having space around you, pretty obviously, but not enough of the drivers on the road to actually change their speed to suit that. Just think of speed limits and saying I'm going at the speed limit, and that's it regardless. Here we've got a little bend. That one was a little slower away last time. Doesn't mean that they're going to be exactly the same here. So you can't just always think that I'm always going to be in front of this. I've got a bend as well, which also increases the risk and increases the hazard. So again, I'm just aware, I'm watching the flow of the traffic. They're again a little slower away, so I'm going to use my gas and be on with it and out of the way. Up to 30 briskly, done. No problems. And that lowers risk. So for those of you who think that it's a traffic light Grand Prix and you're trying to zoom off from people all the time, and if you think I'm doing that, you've got another thing coming. That's not how it works. That's not what I'm doing. Okay. I'm going to take the road off to the left, over there, up Netherfield Road, and then we'll take it from there. So there's no big deal with the traffic around me. Signals definitely benefit, shows people I'm out of the way, not a problem. Okay, so breather for a little bit. It's less to do up this road. Saying that, you've got the guy. I don't think I needed to change speed much, I just needed to be ready to. I was going to have a little talk just while we're in this little quiet zone, but just keep an eye on the van behind as well, because he was just slightly catching me. This is going to be a problem always when you do the speed limit. People are always impatient and are always looking to get past, but they don't really understand that the flow of the traffic isn't going to get them there any quicker if they're breaking speed limit the majority of the time. Just had a quick eye on that white one. That white one just came over the central line just for a little moment. Okay, so do you change your speed as much as I'm talking about and I'm doing? Is there as much attention with what you're doing with your feet as maybe there should be? Probably guessing no, but hopefully, especially with my viewers, hoping yes. And like I said, we've got an educated bunch who follow this channel, so we can all improve. We can always keep getting better and improving little skills, and even if there's one little piece that you pick up from this video that's going to improve your driving, that's a good thing. Okay, speed here needs to be decreased. I can use the cycle area safely, so I'm going to, and now we're okay again. Just being mindful of the red one again. I'm going to do exactly the same thing, using the cycle area safely, so we can all fit through and allow traffic flow. This part of the cycle area, you should know, solid line, we shouldn't use unless it's an emergency, and you can see the reason for that. It comes back into a curve, else you'd be driving up the pavement in that scenario. Okay. The van throughout this section road, I thought they were going to be maybe pushing a little, but no, they've been good as gold. So think about what I call friend or foe, friend or enemy, if you like, and you can spot people who are going to be potentially problematic, and they're the people who you're going to have to do more adjusting with. I've had to do very little because the van has been following at the correct distance and not pressurising, but if you've got that person who is going to be trying to force past you, you've got more to do yourself. So at these traffic lights, we're just going to go ahead. Going to head into the city a little. Taking my time getting there to the traffic lights. You should all know how I work with this now. Try and do your utmost to keep things moving, like I've been able to do. It's a lot safer. Keeping space allows us to keep up the flow. You don't have to zoom up to behind people. And here's another thing, progress. There's nothing wrong with using lane 2. No need to signal either. It's not affecting the one behind. Just going to go ahead. Just a little point on where to stop at lights. I had a conversation with someone a couple of weeks back, and they were saying, why didn't I get all the way up? Well, here I've got myself more space now to again adjust the speed to what I want to do with that vehicle. Why go and sit next to someone? But people don't seem to get it. I'm just watching the one to my left hand side now as well. I'm being ready to slow in case they wanted to come into this lane. I would have thought they would have done it by now, but you never know. So I'm just backing off early just to give them that little bit of move room if required. Would a signal benefit anyone? No, the bus driver behind knows exactly where the road goes here. There's no pedestrians looking like they're going to cross the road, so no reason for a signal. There's no one next to me, so I can adjust my speed how I like as I'm moving off there. There was no reason to change it to suit anyone. Again, doing my utmost to try and keep things moving. Perfect. Can hear some sirens, yeah, can see them from the opposite side as well. Pretty quiet up here. It is a Sunday when I'm out, so there's not loads of traffic, but this situation, you've got the Volkswagen catching up ahead, so again, I am adjusting my acceleration just to keep an eye on that one. Now you're going to come past and come back into the left. Again, I'm giving them some move room. No, they're going the other way. How do you know they were going there? They weren't signalling. People are constant associating everything's got to be done with these signals. I'm just going to quickly just talk about these signals here. Again, I've kept myself space from the advanced stop line, not going into the cycle area. It gives me some move room. You don't have to get all the way up to this first line. I've got a better view here of the pedestrian side to side, all the traffic lights, if my sun visor wasn't down. I can see everything fine. And my left signal there was important. What did it allow the bus to do? Allowed the bus to come straight past without having to slow. So it wasn't necessarily the direction that I was going that the signal was helpful for there. It was the fact that I was going to have to be slowing down to do that turn. So signals aren't quite what people think a lot of the time. Now, I'm going to do a lane change after these lights. I'm going to get into lane 2. The signal is necessary in case the black Ford in front was thinking about doing a lane change. And again, just keep an eye on everything all around all the time. So your speed can be a signal to people as well. That's what I'm constantly trying to adjust as I'm doing the drive. Your speed can show people exactly what's happening and what's going on. That's why the good drivers don't rely on just seeing these signals. They watch people's speed and position also. The taxi to the left, I don't think he's going to come out because he sat still, he wasn't creeping. But some would say he wasn't signalling. Doesn't always need that. What about here? Does signal help? It might help some pedestrians who don't understand the road. I'm just going to wait till I'm past this little entrance so it's categoric on what I'm doing. Perfect. That also should determine people coming up this inside thinking that it's 2 lanes. It's a little bit funny there as well because you've got the taxi rank, or the taxi, yeah, there's a taxi rank to my left hand side, and then suddenly you're at the junction, so some people could think it's wide enough for 2 lanes, so the left signals that help there also. So is there anyone going to be next to me that I'm going to have to adjust my speed for? Are there going to be any pedestrians crossing? This pedestrian to the right hand side with the dog. The lights are still on green in the middle, so we're not going yet. 2 lads on the Alecki scooter have gone the opposite way. That's one less risk. Suspecting we're going to be shortly because the sequence from the side has changed. No one's around me. I can please myself again with the speed that I'm choosing to move off. I'm going to use lane 2 because I am going to go ahead. Notice I took the signal off early as well, so there was no confusion that I was going to go in there. I've still got a good view of all the lights, but I'm just going to put my visor up so I can see this one in case there's going to be any other vehicles blocking the red one up in front. And again, gap in the traffic, no one around me, can please myself with how I move off. So even though I haven't had loads of scenarios where I've had to adjust my speed for things, I'm sure you can understand where I'm coming from and what I'm doing with what I'm talking about. Follow the road up and round to the right. So seeing the road markings here, left lane is a left turner, quite okay. And again, we've got plenty of things happening around, even though it's a Sunday and we're all on lockdown. Everyone's out still, not particularly busy. Is there anything I need to adjust my speed for moving off? No, these pedestrians to the left pressing the button, the main issue that I was thinking of there. No one's around me, no one's next to me. If they had been, would have had to have either slowed or speeded up to fix it. I'm going to turn right at these traffic lights. Just looking at a fella there sat there on his phone at the front of the junction, and yeah, he's just got beat because there was a car behind him. He's still sat there. Anyway, it doesn't affect me, only if he was to come this way, and that's what I'd be watching for, but no, he's still sat there with the car behind him. Exit road looks clear, speed changing, I can adjust it to keep things moving. Gear change on the corner as well, that's another thing that people don't adjust their speed for well enough. They go off at the same rate all the time, and because they go off at the same rate, they struggle to get the gear changes done properly on the corner. A gear change should be done when you are holding the wheel still without moving it. Doesn't mean that you can't be turning around a corner. So again, that's actually done with your feet. It's adjusted with your feet to adjust your acceleration to time that correctly. So there's much more done with your feet than you realise. People drive too much nowadays like a dodgem car. They just go at one speed and just steer. Okay, there wasn't much I needed to adjust my speed for down there. It's probably been a little bit quiet for what I would have wanted with this today, but I'm sure you get the idea. I've got a couple of other little things just forward planned as I'm talking that we'll go and have a little look at. Nothing going on, it shouldn't be too busy, everyone should be doing as they're told. I'm heading round to the left signal. I am going to stick one on. There's a few pedestrians around. There's a crossing area around the corner. And there, another thing that I'd be always watching for in case I need to adjust my speed, in case there's a cyclist or a scooter or something next to us. Okay. Got a little bit more traffic a little touch further up. Could the lights change? Absolutely. No one's around me, so again I can please myself. I could stop really quickly and heavily if required. Silver one's staying put, and I'm just going to do a lane change across to the right. No reason to signal to get into this side because I'm going round to the right. Is there any reason to signal? No, I don't think so. A couple of pedestrians over the far right hand side. They may be looking at some point to see who's going to be coming from this direction. So adjusting speed, I know it's not been as busy like I've said as I probably would have hoped for, but hopefully it gives you an idea of the kind of things that I'm constantly thinking about. People next to us and behind us are the real key. I think that's the big difference that most people on the road don't do enough with. Just focus with that space in front and think that the use of the gas or the accelerator is only determined from what's happening out in front, and it's not. So we've got the Ford to our right now. It is a private hire as well. See the badge in the windscreen. So there's no prejudice in this either, but I'm always aware of certain people on the road. It could be a learner driver, it could be a van driver, it could be anyone. You can be as prejudiced as you like in your own mind. That's not me outwardly saying every taxi driver is going to be a problem, but if you're a pessimist, you're always one step ahead. So let's have a little think of this situation. The filter traffic's finishing. Lights over there have stayed on red. There's a couple of cars caught mid-junction and they're changing over the far side. Can anyone to change speed to? No, don't think so. Private hire to my right's totally fine. I'm watching him, even though I'm not looking at them. I'm watching him. Didn't see. But anyway, I was watching the car peripherally. And that's massively important to do as well, to not just get tunnel vision and just be looking at that same thing out in front all the time. So, watching people around, watching the movement of the traffic up ahead, expecting problems because we've got 3 lanes going down into 2. Would there be an issue for using the furthest right-hand lane? No. Would I go out there now to use all the road space? No, wouldn't. There's no point. So we've got a little bit of a lull, but the traffic lights are changing a little touch further up. You get to see some sights of Liverpool waterfront here as well, if you're not from the area. We've got the Albert Dock on the left, and the buildings are a little bit further up. Lights have changed, however, again, and I'm just keeping an eye on my mirrors either side of me. I'm trying to centralise my car's position all the time in my lane. The lane was a little bit wavy there, so I'm always trying to centralise my position, and that's for the cyclists and the scooters and the motorbikes. Allow people room. There's no issue with people filtering through. I don't think I'm going to need my sunglasses on anymore. I think the sun's going to be behind us for the rest of this little video. So, no one's around. Those lights are pretty quick. People are always impatient and always going to jump lights to go and arrive at the next set. Keeping space. So I might have a little whiz forward, a little fast forward with this section, just so we can actually get stuff done. So I'll see you in a sec. Okay, here we go again. So, are there going to be any issues with adjusting my speed here? Pedestrians on the left, cars behind are quite far back as well, but you've got one coming down the outside. No issues with it either. It's just in my blind spot, so I'm just waiting and holding back until I see it. Where's it gone? It turned on, that's fine. And notice the lean forward in the seat gives you a better view. That's a skill that people don't do enough of as well. They bolt it to the seat, feel as though they can't move, and say these pillars got in the way. These pillars should never ever get in the way. Move in your seat. Okay, you noticed, because I'm sat in a hole, if you like, a space, there's less for me to do. Try and aim for that, as I've said a little bit earlier, try and aim for that as much as possible. Always try and be at a gap. Range Rover pulled out from the central reservation, no worries at all. It was a good emerge, didn't cause me any issues whatsoever. It did it briskly, no problems. So there's nothing saying to me that it's going to be any issue. A few dog walkers about, no problems with that. Be careful of the length of the lead that they've got on. Might be something that you need to adjust the speed for as well. Again, you don't need a license to walk a dog, so it's our job as motorists to look out for the people who haven't got licenses. Again, there's no prejudice in that either. Sometimes people take offence with things that I say. We've got a cyclist coming down the middle. Well done with your flashing light, mate. I like the flashing lights on the bikes, but that's disgraceful. That's absolutely disgraceful. People say it's only the cyclist that's going to get injured. It's not. If you hit a pedestrian walking across with one of those dogs, some people treat the dogs like the children. They'd be absolutely mortified. What even if a car came through and killed the cyclist? He's going to live with that for the rest of the time. So all you cyclists who do that, don't. It's disgraceful. a little back off on the gas there just for the other one turning right, just so the Range Rover was able to have some escape room if required. Okay, who's around me? Who's next to me? No big deal. Where's he going? Is he zooming past just to go in front? Sound, off you go, mate. I'll see you at the lights. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stay in this lane and just follow the road up and round to the right this road goes. So look how worthwhile that his little zoom past got him. I'm saying it's him. Here it is. But that's, again, it's not prejudice towards males or females. Everyone who can be impatient. Is there anyone who's next to us that I'm going to have problems with? We've got a big lorry over the far side. I know it won't affect me, but what would you have to do with your speed if the lorry was next to you in this scenario? Adjust it. Don't be next to people. Especially important with the size of lorries and their blind spots. Alright, so we're coming out of the busier areas. This is going to be a pretty routine that will drive back to mine now, so I think I'm going to call it a day. I'm sorry that it hasn't been as busy as I'd hoped. I wish it had been a little bit busier. We maybe could have got a few more things done, but I think you've got the idea of what I was talking about and adjusting this speed all the time. Maybe it's another one when we are out of lockdown that I revisit and I go and do again when it is busy. Maybe even I'll go and do it in an area that I don't know. I think that would be a good shout. Let us know what you think in the comments. If you haven't already pressed that subscribe button, please do so, because it helps us out massively. It allows me to get out to a bigger reach and put these videos out to a wider audience. So thank you very much for your support, and if you're watching for this long, take care. I'll see you soon.